Hey everybody, welcome back to One Track Mind Coasters. So, it is the time of year again where I will be ranking my top 15 favorite coasters that I've done. Now, there are some new entries on the list as well as some coasters that exited my list. And I also visited two new parks with Dollywood and Six Flags America. So, I'm going to get into my list right now. And coming in at my number 15 spot is Talon at Dorney. Talon is my favorite B&M invert at the moment. I have not ridden a better one yet. Also, I think this is a super underrated ride. It doesn't get talked about nearly as much as it should. I rode it this year in August, and I still thought that this ride was the best B&M invert that I've done. And this is the third year in a row I've done it, so it is really good. Coming up next in my number 14 spot is Superman Ride of Steel at Six Flags America. This one barely made my list. It has a pretty good first drop, and it has a few airtime moments throughout the ride, but they aren't really that strong. And on top of that, there are a lot of straight sections, and there are two helixes, which is crazy, but there is a lot of straight track on this ride, and this ride can be dull at moments, so that's why it's getting this spot. I will say, though, this is the best ride at Six Flags America by a landslide, for sure. Now coming in at my number 13 spot is Steel Force at Dorney. Steel Force is the best ride there. Not by much, though, because Talon's really good, too. But Steel Force has a ton of airtime moments after the first drop. And also, the helix at the middle of the ride actually has pretty decent positives, I will say. And this ride, every single year I ride it, keeps getting faster. 2023, it was pretty slow. 2024, they sped up the chain lift and it was running faster. And this year, it was running the fastest I've ever. Plus, I love how this coaster has 18 rows. Very long trains. You just get hauled over the first drop, which I love. Coming in at my number 12 spot is Twister at Knoebels. Twister, I will say, has been running very good these past couple years. In 2023, they retracked the entire double helix. 2024, they redid the turnaround after the first drop. And then this year they did the turnaround before the first drop and also the turnaround after the double helix. Now, this ride has been gotten really rough lately, and with these retracks, this ride has been smooth. Not only has Knoebels been doing a great job maintaining this, but this ride hauls every single time. And this ride actually was lower last year, and I moved it up a couple spots in my rankings this year because it's been running very good all year. Coming in at my number 11 spot is Thunderhead at Dollywood. Thunderhead is my favorite GCI wooden coaster. It absolutely hauls too. The pacing is really good. I rode this for my first time this year at Dollywood. Very fun, let me tell you. The pacing is so good that you don't even lose speed at all. And also, I rode near the back, so I did fly through the layout. And honestly, this ride has the edge over Twister because of the pace. But it was honestly a tough decision since they were both really good. They were both running really good this year. But I have to give it the edge to this coaster. Now, we are reaching my top 10. Kicking in at number 10 is Verbolten at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. This ride, honestly, has been running pretty well. It's very smooth, and on top of that, the theming was good. I did not get to ride this year, but I plan to hopefully go back to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg sometime soon. This ride is just very fun, and it's easily the best family coaster I've ever done. And I love the launches. The launches were pretty powerful, and mainly the theming and the drop track. Honestly, it's the drop track element that's really making this ride very good. Along with the theming, which they are actually adding new theming elements in 20. Now, kicking into my number 9 spot is Candymonium at Hershey Park. Candymonium is a very good hyper, I'll say that. However, there is one coaster which I'll discuss later that jumped up 2 spots, causing Candymonium to come down to the 9th spot. Candymonium, though, is still a good ride. I love the flow to airtime, especially in the front. The front is actually probably the strongest parts of the ride. I would probably ride up there if you can. But anyways, this ride isn't intense by all means, but it's just pretty fun. Especially the Flowjector moment after the one hill, after the hammerhead turnaround with the trim brakes. That's easily the best moment of airtime on the ride. Kicking in at my number 8 spot, we got another B&M Hyper, Nitro at Six Flags Great Adventure. Nitro is better than Candymonium because it has stronger airtime and overall it's a longer ride. However, I did not get to ride it this year because when I went to Great Adventure in September, it was down, waiting for parts. But Nitro was a very fun ride when I did ride it in summer of 2024. So I'll definitely say ride towards the back for this one. I rode it once in the front, once in the back, and I could feel the airtime moments better in the back, mainly because this has a longer train. This has 9 rows, I believe, while Candy has 7, and this is so the airtime might honestly be a little bit more sustained on this ride than Candymonium, which is why I give this ride the edge. Coming in at my number 7 spot is Stormrunner at Hershey Park. Stormrunner, I will say, I have moved this up, I believe a spot or 2 from last year, because this ride has been absolutely hauling. It's been hauling so much that every single ride I get on it is very, very forceful. Even the airtime moments before the flying snake dive, you get thrown out of your seat, and the flying snake dive has so much whip to it that you actually almost gray out a little bit. Very intense this year, and also the launch is always powerful. And I've moved it up over Candymonium and Nitro. I would also like to talk about how many Intamin accelerator coasters there has been, and this is the only one left in the Northeast, and this one is very powerful. I'm glad we still have this. Taking my number 6 spot is Phoenix at Knoebels. Phoenix is a very fun ride. Now, this is my second favorite wooden coaster. Pretty much any time you go downhill on this ride, especially in the back row, you're out of your seat. You're standing out of your seat. It's unbelievable. Phoenix has a lot of airtime moments. And especially the double down. The double down is you actually stand up because the restraint doesn't even touch you. Very powerful airtime, I will say. It's very repetitive too. So, if you love repetitive airtime, ride Phoenix for sure. Phoenix is my second favorite wooden coaster, and it's a very good ride. Best ride. We are now entering the top 5 coasters on my list. Taking the number 5th spot is King the Ka at Six Flags Great Adventure. I am including defunct coasters on this list, and this was a beast. The adrenaline you get waiting on the launch track is something I have never experienced before. And also going up 456 feet high, that was so insane. I really miss this ride. I can't believe it's gone. But regardless, this ride was very powerful. And the launch was good. It wasn't even that rough either. People said it's really rough. No, it's really not. It's just very sentimental and powerful, and we are also still waiting on Great Adventure's replacement for this ride come next year. So, King the Ka, you will be missed for sure. Taking my number 4 spot is Lightning Rod at Dollywood. Lightning Rod has recently had its launch removed in place for a lift hill, and they also replaced a lot of the wood into steel eye box track from RMC. However, this ride does not need the launch or all of that wood to make it very good. Now, I will say, the ride, I guess, can run slow in the beginning. However, the quad down element, which is the element I have pictured here, it sends you out of your seat flying at least 4 times, and you are flying down that mountain. The airtime is so strong, let me tell you. I would still absolutely love this ride, no matter if it has the launch or not, because this element alone put it in my top 4 spot. RMC's creations are just that good, and I definitely recommend the rest of you to check this ride. Taking my number 3 spot is Skyrush at Hershey Park. Skyrush it's very good. I love this hypercoaster. First off, the cable lift is powerful. You're up there in 10 seconds. And then it just kind of throws you over the drop. And especially if you're in the back on a wing seat, you actually are it's a very, very scary feeling. You are almost dangling from your seat like it's a car crash because of the kink in the drop. And also, the rest of the elements deliver pretty good airtime, I will say. However, this ride, I would say, has ran less forceful ever since it got the new restraints in 2024, which makes me prefer the older ones, especially since the older ones actually crush your thighs. The newer ones dig into your waist. Plus, the laterals aren't as strong, and I actually would even say the airtime isn't as strong, but this is still a powerful. One really positive thing I have to say about this ride is that this has the best first drop on any coaster I've been on, and it still does. Coming in, my number 2 spot is El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure. This is still my favorite wooden coaster. I rode it twice in 2024 and once in 2025. And this ride still hauls. And if you want to talk about sustained ejector airtime, this ride is the literal definition of it. The first drop, you are thrown out of your seat. Same for the first 2 Camelback airtime hills as well. And also, I think this ride has a better layout than Phoenix, which is why I give this ride the edge over Phoenix. It's not even close though. Phoenix is good, but this ride is miles. Now, coming in at number 1 is Wildcats Revenge at Hershey Park. Wildcats Revenge is the best RMC hybrid coaster I've done. And I did it for my first time in 2023, actually opening day when this ride opened. And it has been my number 1 since. And I still haven't ridden a coaster better than this. That shows you that this ride is just really good. On top of that, it has 8 solid airtime moments. The sideways airtime on the wave turn is easily the best moment, followed by the weirdly profiled double down that even gives lateral forces. And also, the inversions hit really hard on this ride, especially the first 0G roll and the stall. Oh, and talk about hauling. Well, this ride hauls all the time, especially at night. And for the best ride experience possible, ride as close to the back. Well, there you have it, my top 15. If you would like, please like, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so you do not miss an upload. Also, if you guys would like, comment your top 5 or top 10. It doesn't matter, but I just want to see what your guys' list is. So let me know in the comments, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Keep riding coasters.